Hello everyone. In the last session, we understood two-dimensional arrays, how to declare, how to assign the values, and how it internally represents, so that uh, we understand uh, how we can access the values in an array, and a couple of examples like use cases, any games where uh, we know the dimensions like rows and columns, or like if you want to keep uh, yeah, couple of examples we saw. Okay, and this is the program we have tried, like we have gone through, like two-dimensional array demo, and we saw how to declare uh, only declaration and then setting the values, or declaring and assigning the values at the time of declaration, kind of initialization. Okay, and then how to access the values using row column indexes. Okay, so index starts from 0, and so these are the row index, column index. So particular cell value will be used using row and column 1 1. So that is how we tried. And suppose if there is okay, let's take another like we know, okay, suppose we want to print all the values. In this example, total 9 values, because row into column like 3 into 3. So total 9 values. And if you want to print, if you want to set the values, that's fine, because this can be like, upfront or based on the user input we will set. So that is okay. At least for printing or accessing particular value, if you want to print all the values or access all the values, process all the values, in that case, we need, yeah, we have to print using indexes, like based on the proper index to get the particular value. To get this value 1 and 1. So that is row is 1, column is 1. So like that, you have to write total 9 print statements. We already went through the concept called for loop, or the loops in Java. So that is a while, do while, for. Okay. So how we can apply loops here? Because here also you can see it is repeating. We are repeating the indexes so that it will print all the values. So we are iterating each row by row. First we are printing one row, next we are going to second row, and then we are going into third row. So the same thing we can print. Okay, so we can say, okay, let's keep that aside. And here we are writing uh, print the values of an 2D array. I'm just putting shorthand D. This is a two-dimensional array. In this case, it is 3 by 3 array or matrix. Okay. 2D array is nothing but a matrix. Okay. In other way. Okay. So now we know to print one particular cell value, one particular value in a two-dimensional array, we can use row index and column index. Okay. Maybe we will just comment this out. Okay, we will take only this way of declaration and assigning the values so that we can easily understand. Okay, so now we know this is the reference we want to. This is the array, 2D array reference variable. And then to access the value, particular value, we need to give two indexes. That means one is row index and column index. And then, okay, for example, we want to print for one particular row. If you want to print particular row, we can simply take this. Okay, so this is also an kind of a single one-dimensional array. So this itself is a one-dimensional array because this is sequence of numbers or sequence of values in a one-dimensional array. Like that, we have three records. That's why it is like three rows and three columns. That's why it is two-dimensional array. Okay. Now, if you consider this, okay, let's say we are just breaking the program so that we can combine at the end so that you will understand how the program works. Okay, how we can write a better program for printing the values. Okay, so now int row 1. Okay, so this is row 1 and we can put okay, let's see what is the problem here. Cannot convert char. Okay, it is not a integer type array, it is a char array. So you can say we are taking first row because if you give like this for 2D array, that gives the first, row of the complete row. So in this case, this is one single array. So like that, we can combine multiple arrays to form a 2D array, two dimension rows and columns. So each row is also a single array. Okay, that is what we are doing here. So now, okay, for now we ignore that. So we already know how to print a single array. So int I equal to 0, and we know the length, how to get the length of the what is the count of the values. So we can get using a length. So we want to break the loop so that it will not go into continuous. And after each iteration, it should increment because the index is by one. So so what we do here, how we can get row one of I. Okay, let's say suppose if we print run this code, we get a 0xx. So this is coming from previous. Okay, and maybe we will not. If you use just println, it will give new line after printing each time. So if you just say print and then plus, we are just formatting it, adding space after each value. Okay, let's say, so it is printing each row. Now we'll do same for second row. Okay, so it will become a row 2 and here it will be 1. Okay, now again if you say row 2 here, so what it does, so it is printing continuously. We'll just format it again so that it will come in the next line. So we will just put println so that it will add a new line. We have special characters. Maybe we will take special session on how to format the program, so that we will cover in the later sessions. For now, you can just understand like a println. It will just print new line after printing the value. So there is no value, it will just ignore, it will not give any error. So it is printing in the new line. So you can see for repeating any particular code we are using for. If for itself is repeating, so here if you see, okay, let's say three and three. Okay, now okay, we want to put one more new line. You can see here, this is how we are printing each row. Same output 0xx x0 0 0 0. So this is how we can fetch individual row, okay, and then we can print that particular row values. Here you can see again these three, like these two steps are repeating. These three steps are repeating, like as I like you taking each row and printing that values and a new line. So it is repeating again. So what we can do, so we can just comment this out. So we already know, like we can write one more for loop. Okay, here we are repeating for each row. So that's why we will put int. Okay, we'll take row. Okay, row from 0, row less than 5, not 5, 3, because we want row plus plus. So we know there are 3 rows, okay, and then row index starts from 0, and so that means we want to loop each row at a time, and inside that row, what we want to do, we want to print, okay, we will just what we will do, we will take this code here simply. These 3 steps we will take here. Okay. So now if you run this out, what will happen? You can see this is wrong because we have to modify here. So instead of row 2, here we have put 1. Instead of that, we have to change it to row. So that is the problem. That's why it is printing only first row. Like that means second row always. Okay, let's here also it is 0, 1 and 2 here. It is not. Okay, but that was the concept. Okay. Now we are moved the repeated code inside this. Okay, and we are just trying to see will it return the same result or not. Yeah, if you see here, it is giving the same response. So that is how we reduce. And there is another way we can reduce. Instead of reading each row here, we are sure like this is the column index, right? We are printing each column, correct? So this means column, this means row. So using two-dimensional array, we can access a particular value using row and column index. So that is what we are going to do now. So, okay, let's uncomment this. Now what we will do, we will say this is column. Even column also starts from 0, and column length we can hard code since it is same dimension. We can get using a column of I here, like row, because we are getting a row. When you say this length, this gives the column length. Okay, this gives the row length. Okay, when you give particular row, I think then it gives. Okay, we will just see. Okay, we will just print this one and see what it returns. Since we have 3 by 3, we may not be able to understand whether it is row length or column length. We will try at the end. Okay, for now, you can just column plus plus, and here we can put column. This is not correct, and this we have to use this in place of each row. So you can see now using row and column. So okay, we will just run this and I will just explain how it runs. Okay, so yeah, this is again printing the same result. So that is how the the program evolves. Like, so whenever you work for two-dimensional array, this is the best way of writing a program to print all the values in a two-dimensional array. Okay, yeah. So that is yeah, that is about this. And now we will try to understand how the program executes. So first, it comes here. Okay, so first row will be 0. First row will be 0, and then it will check. We know like how for loop works. First is the initialization. This runs only once, and then this is the step 2. It executes the this check the condition. If condition is true, it will go inside. So here it is. Okay, we will write in the below so that you will understand how the this is the best example to understand the for loops also, because this is the best use case for loops. In real time also we might write continuous for loops to perform certain logic. Yeah, that's why I'm giving more like how internally how the program like iterates or executes so that you will understand better. Okay. Okay. So row 0 and 0 less than 3. So that means it is true. It is true. So it went inside, and it is again there is a for loop. So again it will do. We can't use same row here because for our purpose, row column always again begins with 0. So that is what here. So row increases, column will always from 0 again. So that's why we are keeping 0. There is some concept called scopes of the variable. Maybe I will cover in the following sessions if something is missed. But yeah, I'll cover that. Like I'll give some brief explanation. So yeah, okay. So now it comes here. This condition is true, so it came here. So this for loop will exit when this condition fails. So for loop will exit. So but for now it is true, so it went inside. Again it there is another variable which is initialized as 0, and then it is checking with the row length, like what is the number of columns, and then if okay. So here again column, okay, again there is col column equal to 0, and then 0 less than 3. So this is also true. This is also true. That's why it is printing that particular row and column. We have row value that is 0. We have column value that is 0. That means print 0, 0. That particular location value that is 0, 0. Now we want to go to 0, 1. So that's why this for loop still runs. Okay, this for loop still runs, and this is done. Now it goes back here. It will increment the column value, and then it will check the value here. So after printing increment, so increment column, so column, so in this case column equal to 1 because it is incremented. Again it will check for the condition. Here 1 less than 3. Okay, now again it is true. Again it is true. It will again print the same. So here it is 0 and 1 because row and 1. Okay. So again it will increment same step. So it will be column will be 2. Okay. And column, yeah, 2 less than 3 is still true. So it will print. And again it will do same like, okay, again now it will become 3. So 3 less than 3. It is false. Correct. So false means it will not execute. The for loop, this loop will become exit. This loop will exit. Next, it will go to next step, next code in the block of the code. So next is a new line. Okay. So this is one iteration of the parent for loop. Okay. So this is also sub block of the code of this for loop. Okay. This is one time executed. Now it will repeat. It will repeat like it will increase the row number. This is the same logic how here it worked. So increment row. Now it will do row becomes 1, 1 less than 3. So main important is these conditions and this condition because we can't use some random number. We want to check row size only here. Here column size only. Then only it performs properly. Otherwise it will give improper result. Okay, this is true. Okay, this is still true. So it will again go inside. When you go inside, row is 1 here, and column is still 0 because we are again initializing, and same it will repeat. Same it will repeat, but only thing is it is 1 now. The row is 1. Okay, row is 1. Column is still 0, 1, 2, 3. So similarly, it will do. Okay. Okay, that is how the program logic executes internally by the JVM or like the Java, how the syntax or like it is. That is how the flow of the program executes the for loop also. Okay, this is. Please try to understand this. Maybe you try yourself with different values. Okay, you try with maybe 2 by 3 matrix. That means 2 rows and 3 columns, or like 4 by 3, like 4 rows and 3 columns. So like that you try to print the values and see like you can go through again this arrays total tutorial so that you will understand better. This is one of the most important concept. Like all concepts are important. This is even more important. Arrays. Okay, because day to day programming in practice, like we use arrays and for loops. In this example, we have taken arrays. There can be even a complete business logic where we use multiple for loops. This is for loop inside for loop. For this outer for loop, this is nothing but a block of code that has to be executed repeatedly. And similarly, for this for loop, the block of code, this is what it just focus. For this, yeah, it doesn't matter where it is written. For this part, if these conditions is these values based on this, it will execute this, and for this is. And our intention is we need to print multiple rows repeatedly. That's why we need one loop for rows processing, one loop for columns. There are even more examples we can do on 2 by 2 matrix. That is okay. What we can do, uh, we can do multiple examples on matrix operations, like how we have arithmetic operations on numbers. We can have a matrix also, like 2D array is nothing but a matrix. So something like matrix addition, multiplication, even printing the diagonal values, and print only last column values. So like this, we can do a lot of operations on matrix or two-dimensional array. And for everything, you should know how to access particular value. Okay, and how we can, like, if you understand how internally, like how we can access in different ways, how we can write in different ways, uh, and how this code works. If you see first time, you don't understand this. So you should understand this, analyze it, and how you can apply the concepts we already learned, like language basics, like for loops or like looping statement. Currently, we are using for loop, so we can use even while loop also to do the same. So for is more understandable, so that's why more suitable. So that's why we are using for loop. Yeah, I would recommend try. Yeah, here we are just printing. Here we can do something like sum of all the values. So that is also one example we can try. So instead of just printing, we can write some business logic also. Some problem we can take and do something. So yeah, I hope. Okay, yeah, we will. We'll wind up this session. Okay, yeah, that's all for this session.